damn. I mean, for a guy who is so explosive and fast, he accelerates ridiculously. He's also tough. He finishes runs and doesn't fumble. So, I mean, he's awesome. One of them's got to be one. And I'm going to go with Derrick Henry. 1350.5 minus 105. We over at Fantasy Points have him projected for 1536. That is 14% more. I mean, basically it comes down to an injury. Will Derrick Henry miss multiple games? But my man flirted with 2,000 this year. He could miss 5 games and still get this. I don't know if it's possible for Derrick Henry to miss 5 games. I'm not sure. Not sure he's a human being at this point, but that's another story for another day. But I know this. I'm going over 1350.5 on Derrick Henry. I'm also going to go over on Ashton Genty because he's going to get the ball. Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly and the Raiders. A pretty decent O-line. And, back in the day, if you're a running back and you went over 1,000 yards, you're like, hey, proud of you. But it's not that big of a deal these days and hasn't been for a while. So it's 1,050.5 is the number for Genty. We have him projected for 1,350. That is 25% more. I think that's significant. So I do like that. Let's mix in a buzzkill under here. And I was in on this in the VSiN betting guide. And by the way, it's been bet down since I was in on it at under 1,500.5. Now it's 1,425 for Saquon Barkley. That's a pretty big chunk of the number that's been bet down, maybe since we put out the betting guide in July. But maybe a lot of other people are just sharing a brain here. Now, the odds aren't great, minus 140. But I think it's ironic that the odds, if you want to take the under, are bad. What does that mean? Like, you should take it. Take the under and pay the bad odds, basically. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that Saquon Barkley. I mean, I think the Eagles, obviously they're good. They're probably still the cream of the NFC crop, of course. But they are weakened from last year. I don't think they're going to be quite as good. I don't think the defense is going to be quite as good. They lost some players, and the schedule's a lot tougher. Philadelphia Eagles haven't repeated as divisional champs in over 20 years. Now, it would be a shock if they didn't, but based on history, they're not. I don't think they're going to repeat as Super Bowl champs, that's for sure. Moving on, love this one here. TreVeyon Henderson, over 700.5 rushing yards. Again, we're trying to exploit a little bit of a hole in the system, if you will, in that, well, the rookie numbers are going to be somewhat suppressed just because they're rookies, but the Patriots brought in Henderson for a reason. By the way, no fumbles. Dude doesn't fumble. And I saw him finishing some runs in the NFL in the preseason where I'm like, damn. I mean, for a guy who is so explosive and fast, he accelerates ridiculously. He's also tough. He finishes runs and doesn't fumble. So, I mean, he's awesome. So Henderson's going to go over 700.5 yards. We have him projected for 837. That's 19% higher. Now, next one here is a little weird. I don't love Caleb Johnson. I really don't. But over 725.5, I'll go over. We're over at Fantasy Points, only 10% over this. I'm not really trying to waffle because I do like Jalen Warren for fantasy as a affordable RB3 in like round 8 or 9. But I know that they brought in Caleb Johnson for a reason because they certainly need that early down back, and he is a good fit for Arthur Smith's zone scheme and all that good stuff. So I think he's going to get this number. Basically, I don't know if he's going to be a good fantasy pick, but I'll go over 725.5 because they're going to be pretty run heavy with Aaron Rodgers and Arthur Smith. It's Artie Smith. If this man could play with a leather helmet, he would. Next up is Jahmyr Gibbs. Like this a lot. We are projecting over at fantasypoints.com 12.2 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. He'll go over 10.5. We have that 16% higher. I know David Montgomery is there. He's getting a little older. They're going to continue to run the rock. And I think Gibbs is going to get a little bit more work just because they're going to need that explosiveness. So I like Gibbs. As always, it's going to be a costly draft pick for you. I do prefer to go wide receiver early in round 1 or anytime in round 1, but I'm not against taking Gibbs. I'll take him at like 7 or something if he slipped. Next up, Omarion Hampton. Again, rookies, buying opportunity, suppressed numbers. This is what we're looking at. Is Omarion Hampton good? Yes, he is good. Does Greg Roman like to run the ball? Yes, he does. Now, the loss of Rashawn Slater, left tackle, is a buzzkill, but we're projecting 1,011 rushing yards, and the prop is 850. So we're 19% over that. Greg Roman has never seen a running game concept that he didn't like. So Omarion Hampton is absolutely going to go over these props here.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at zero cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.